Lisa Martinez walked through the long hallways of Harmony Point Station. Her boots made soft clicking sounds on the metal floor. The space station was huge, floating in empty space between the stars. It was built for meetings like this one. Today would be different from all the others. She wore her best uniform. The blue fabric had small gold stars on the shoulders. On her chest was a badge that said Earth Ambassador. She had worn this uniform to many meetings over the past 10 years. Today felt like the last time. The meeting room was already full when she arrived. Tall creatures made of crystal sat in special chairs. These were the Zephyrians. They looked like living glass, but they could think and talk. Their leader was named High Command Zethkar. He was 12 feet tall and his body sparkled with inner light. Next to them sat the Hive Collective. These looked like giant insects. They had 6 arms each and big round eyes. They always moved together like they shared one mind. Their queen was not here, but her children spoke for her. The Nebulans floated in glass tanks filled with green gas. They had no solid bodies. They were living clouds that could think. When they talked, their voices sounded like wind through trees. The constructors looked like robots, but they were alive. They were made of metal and wire, but they had built themselves. They could make anything they wanted with their hands. Their leader had red eyes that glowed in the dark. Jake Parker sat next to Lisa. He was an admiral in Earth's Space Navy. His uniform was different from hers. It had more metals and was darker blue. He looked calm, but Lisa could see his hands were ready to move fast if needed. Alex Chen sat on Lisa's other side. He was Earth's best scientist. His job was to understand how alien technology worked. He wore a simple white coat with many pockets. Each pocket was full of small tools and computers. High Command Zethkar stood up. His crystal body made musical sounds when he moved. All the other aliens looked at him. The room became very quiet. "We are here today to end the ceasefire," he said. His voice sounded like breaking glass. "For 3,000 years we have kept peace in the galaxy. But humans have grown too dangerous." Lisa did not move. She kept her face calm and empty. Jake Parker sat very still. Alex Chen wrote something on his small computer. "Humans have built colonies in 847 star systems," Zethkar continued. "This is too many. They build weapons and ships everywhere they go. They do not stop learning new things. This makes them unsafe for the galaxy." The insect queen's daughter clicked her sharp teeth. "Humans do not specialize," she said in a voice like buzzing bees. "Other species are good at one thing. We are good at working together. Zephyrians are good at making things strong. Nebulans are good at thinking fast. Constructors are good at building. But humans try to be good at everything." A Nebulan's voice whispered from its tank. "Humans learn too quickly. In 3,000 years, they have learned what took us 10,000 years. They make new weapons. They discover new sciences. They write new stories and songs. They never stop growing." The constructor leader's red eyes flashed. "Humans build ships we cannot understand. They use energy in ways we have never seen. Their computers think in ways that confuse our computers. They are becoming too strong." Zethkar's crystal body grew brighter. "The ceasefire ends in 72 hours. All species agree. Humans must be stopped before they become too powerful to stop." Lisa Martinez stood up slowly. Every alien in the room looked at her. She was much smaller than most of them, but she did not seem afraid. Her face was like stone. "We understand," she said in a clear, strong voice. "Earth will respond accordingly." Then she smiled. It was not a happy smile. It was cold like ice in winter. It was the smile of someone who knew a secret that would frighten others. Jake Parker stood up next. He put his hands behind his back. "Is there anything else the council needs to discuss?" he asked. His voice was polite, but there was something sharp underneath it. The aliens looked at each other. They had expected humans to beg. They had expected fear and crying. They had expected offers of surrender. Instead, they got calm voices and cold smiles. Alex Chen closed his computer and stood up. "If that is all, we will return to prepare Earth's response," he said. He sounded like he was talking about the weather. The 3 humans walked toward the door. Every alien watched them go. Lisa's boots made the same soft clicking sounds on the metal floor, but now the sound seemed louder in the quiet room. Outside the meeting room, other humans waited in the hallway. They were ship captains and soldiers and scientists. When they saw Lisa's cold smile, they understood. The game was over. The pretending was finished. Jake Parker spoke into his communication device. Admiral Parker to all Earth vessels. Condition red, repeat condition red. Begin Phase 1 immediately. Lisa Martinez looked out through a large window at the ships floating near the station. She could see Earth ships and alien ships mixed together. But something was wrong. The alien intelligence officers had noticed it too. More Earth ships were arriving. They appeared out of the darkness between stars like they had been waiting there. But none of the Earth ships were leaving. If humans were really afraid of war, they should be running away. Instead, they seemed to be gathering. Alex Chen opened his computer again. He sent a message to Earth that was just 3 words. The masquerade ends. On the alien ships, warning sensors began to beep. Their computers detected strange energy readings from the human vessels. The readings did not match anything in their databases. It was like the human ships were powered by something the aliens had never seen before. High Command Zethkar felt something he had not felt in 1,000 years. It was cold and sharp in his crystal chest. It took him a moment to remember the word for it. Fear. The 3,000-year ceasefire was ending. The aliens had wanted to see humanity's war face again. They were about to get their wish. But they would learn that the face humanity had shown them during the peace was not their real face at all. It had been a mask. And now the mask was coming off. Maria Santos sat in the big chair in Earth's most important meeting room. She was the president of Earth, and today she would give orders that would change everything. Around the long table sat the most powerful people on the planet. But none of them looked worried. Instead, they looked excited. Jake Parker stood at the front of the room. Behind him was a huge screen showing star maps. Red dots marked alien fleets moving toward human space. Blue dots marked human ships. There were far more blue dots than the aliens expected. "Ladies and gentlemen," Jake said, "the masquerade is over." He pressed a button. The star map changed. New blue dots appeared everywhere. Thousands of them. They had been hidden in deep space in empty systems in places the aliens never looked. "For 3,000 years we have been acting," Jake continued. "We pretended to be weak. We pretended to be afraid. We let the aliens think they were protecting the galaxy from us. But the truth is different," Maria Santos smiled. It was the same cold smile Lisa Martinez had shown the aliens. "Tell them about the real fleet, Admiral." Jake pressed another button. Pictures of ships appeared on the screen. But these ships looked nothing like the ones the aliens had seen. They were bigger, stranger, and built with technology that seemed impossible. The UNS Defender, which the aliens think is our best warship, is actually a training ship, Jake said. "We use it to teach new officers. Our real warships have been waiting in hidden bases for centuries." Ryan Foster, the captain of the Defender, laughed. "My ship is 300 years old. We keep it running because it reminds us of the old days. The new ships are so advanced that most of our own people cannot understand how they work." Lisa Walsh stood up. She was the head of Earth's secret military projects. For 30 years, she had been building weapons and ships that no alien had ever seen. "Project Looking Glass has been running for 800 years, she said. "We can move backward and forward in time. Not far and not for long, but enough to see what our enemies will do before they do it." Alex Chen opened a file on his computer. "Project Ghostwalk lets our ships move between dimensions. We can hide in spaces that aliens cannot see or touch. Their sensors cannot find us when we do not want to be found." Tom Bradley was Earth's best engineer. He built the factories that made the secret weapons. Project Prometheus created computers that think faster than any alien mind. Our artificial intelligence can learn and grow. In one day, our computers can become smarter than aliens who have been thinking for 1,000,000 years. President Santos stood up. Everyone in the room looked at her. "The aliens wanted to know what we have been doing for 3,000 years. They said we were becoming too dangerous. They were right." She walked to the big window that looked out at Earth. In the sky, ships were rising from hidden bases. They had been buried underground, hidden in the ocean, and parked behind the moon. Now they were waking up. "We accepted the ceasefire because we were asked nicely to stop expanding," Maria said. "The galaxy needed time to catch up with us. So we waited, we built, we learned, we prepared." Jake Parker changed the screen again. Now it showed human colonies in 847 systems. But each colony had secrets. Underground factories, hidden shipyards, research stations that studied things aliens had never dreamed of. "Every human colony has been holding back," Jake said. "Every defensive station could have been 10 times stronger. Every research facility has been working with one hand tied behind its back. We did this to be polite. Ryan Foster looked at his communication device. Admiral, I'm getting reports from across the galaxy. Human ships are revealing themselves everywhere. The aliens are starting to panic. Lisa Walsh smiled. Phase 1 is complete. All sleeper units are active. Our people who have been pretending to be simple colonists and traders are showing their real jobs. Scientists are becoming generals. Merchants are becoming spies. Farmers are becoming soldiers. On the screen, more blue dots appeared. Human ships were coming out of hiding in every system. Ships that looked like cargo haulers were opening up to reveal weapons. Space stations that seemed to be for trade were powering up military shields. Alex Chen read from his computer. Intelligence reports say the Zephyrian High Command is calling emergency meetings. They detected energy signatures that their databases say are impossible. The Hive Collective is pulling back their scout ships because they cannot understand what our sensors are doing to their minds. Tom Bradley checked his own reports. The shipyards on Mars just activated the final production line, the one we have never used before. It can build a warship in 6 hours. We have 50 of these production lines hidden across human space. President Santos turned back to face the room. The aliens think this will be like the old war 3,000 years ago. Ships shooting at each other with simple weapons. Armies landing on planets to fight with guns and bombs. They think they know how humans fight. She pressed a button on the table. The screen showed something new. It was footage of human soldiers, but they looked different. They moved too fast and hit too hard. Their armor was like liquid metal that could change shape. Their weapons did not shoot bullets or energy beams. They shot something that looked like controlled lightning. These soldiers have been training in secret for 1,000 years, Maria said. Each one is stronger than 100 normal humans. Their armor makes them nearly impossible to kill. Their weapons can destroy anything the aliens have built. Jake Parker nodded. But the real surprise is not our soldiers or our ships. The real surprise is what we learned from the aliens themselves. The screen changed again. Now it showed alien technology, but it looked different. Cleaner, more advanced, better. Every time an alien species shared technology with us, we studied it, Jake said. We took it apart. We figured out how it worked. Then we made it better. The Zephyrian crystal technology that makes their ships so strong, we perfected it. The Nebulan energy consciousness that lets them think so fast, we improved it. The constructor manufacturing systems that can build anything, we enhanced them. Alex Chen looked up from his computer. We have been preparing for the war the aliens will try to fight, and the war they cannot imagine, and the war that comes after that. Lisa Walsh checked her watch. 60 hours until the ceasefire officially ends. But our forces are already in position. Every alien fleet is being watched. Every alien world has human ships nearby, just out of sensor range. President Santos sat back down in her chair. When the aliens declared war, they expected us to be afraid. They expected us to beg for mercy. They expected us to offer them tribute and surrender. She looked around the room at all the powerful people. Instead, we are going to show them what 3,000 years of human creativity can accomplish when we stop being polite. Tom Bradley's computer beeped with a new message. Ma'am, the Deep Space Monitoring Stations report something interesting. Alien fleets are starting to slow down. Some of them are stopping completely. Their commanders are having second thoughts. Ryan Foster laughed. Too late for that. We tried being peaceful. We tried being patient. We tried being good neighbors. Jake Parker stood at attention. Orders, Madam President? Maria Santos smiled her cold smile one more time. Give them the war they asked for, Admiral. Show them what humanity looks like when we stop pretending to be weak. The war was about to begin, but it would not be the war the aliens expected. Fleet Commander Zethkar looked at the star maps in his command ship. His crystal body sparkled with confidence. Behind him stretched the greatest Zephyrian battle fleet ever assembled. 10,000 ships filled with the best warriors in the galaxy. Target, Proxima Centauri system, he told his officers. Intelligence reports say this is humanity's most defended border system. We will crush their defenses and show the galaxy that humans are not so dangerous. His ships moved through space like a river of light. Each vessel was covered in crystal armor that could stop any weapon the aliens knew about. Their guns could destroy planets. Their shields could protect them from stars going supernova. Commander, said his sensor officer, we are approaching the Proxima system, but something is wrong. Zethkar moved to the main screen. What do you mean wrong? There are no human ships, sir. No defense stations. No energy shields. The system appears to be empty. This puzzled Zethkar. Human intelligence had always been good at knowing when attacks were coming. They should have had time to prepare defenses. Where were their ships? Where were their weapons? Sir, the communication officer said, we are receiving a transmission. Put it on the main screen. A human woman appeared on the screen. She wore a uniform that Zethkar had never seen before. It was black with silver stripes. Behind her, strange lights flashed and moved. I am Commander Kate Sullivan of the Terran Defense Grid, she said. Her voice was calm and cold. To any alien vessels receiving this transmission, you are now entering a free fire zone. Humanity is no longer bound by the galactic warfare conventions. We recommend immediate withdrawal. Zethkar laughed. The sound was like crystal bells ringing. One human woman threatens 10,000 ships? Put me on communication to her. The screen changed to show both of them. Kate Sullivan looked at Zethkar without fear. Human commander, Zethkar said, you are outnumbered 10,000 to 1. Surrender now and your death will be quick. Kate Sullivan smiled. It was not a happy smile. Commander Zethkar, you misunderstand the situation. You are not outnumbered 10,000 to 1. You are outnumbered 1 to 0. What does that mean? Look at your star, Commander. Zethkar turned to look at Proxima Centauri on his screens. The star was getting dimmer. Its light was fading like someone was slowly turning it off. What is happening to our star? He demanded. It is not your star, Kate Sullivan said. It is our star, and we are borrowing its energy. Suddenly, space around the Zephyrian fleet began to change. Structures appeared that had not been there before. They were huge, bigger than planets, and they seemed to exist partly in normal space and partly somewhere else. Sir, the sensor officer shouted, energy readings are off our scales. These structures are drawing power directly from the star's core. Another voice came over the communication system. This one belonged to a man with a calm scientific tone. This is Dr. Frank Morrison speaking from Solar Collection Station Alpha. Commander Zethkar, you wanted to know what we have been doing for 3,000 years. Allow us to demonstrate. The structures around Proxima Centauri began to glow. But the glow was not normal light. It was something that hurt to look at. Something that made reality bend and twist. Beginning demonstration of human defensive capabilities, Dr. Morrison said. Please observe. What happened next would be talked about in whispers across the galaxy for centuries. The human weapons did not shoot at the Zephyrian ships. They did not use missiles or energy beams or kinetic rounds. Instead, they simply decided that some of the Zephyrian ships should not exist. One moment, 1,000 ships were flying through space. The next moment, there were only 900 ships. The missing ships had not been destroyed. They had not exploded or been cut apart. They had simply stopped being real. Sir, the sensor officer said in a shaking voice, 100 ships in the forward group are gone. Not destroyed, gone. There is no debris. No energy signatures. It is like they never existed. Zethkar felt something cold growing in his crystal heart. How is this possible? Kate Sullivan's voice came through the communication system again. The galactic warfare conventions limit us to weapons that destroy matter and energy. But you just ended those conventions. Now we can use weapons that edit reality itself. Another 1,000 ships vanished. Then another 1,000. The Zephyrian fleet began to break apart as commanders tried to retreat. But there was nowhere to run. The human weapons could reach anywhere in the system. Sir, the communication officer shouted, we are receiving surrender requests from our own ships. The captains are begging us to retreat. Dr. Morrison's voice came back. Commander Zethkar, your ships are powered by zero-point energy extraction. Very clever. We perfected that technology 2,000 years ago. Your crystal armor can absorb and redirect any energy weapon. Impressive. We learned to build better crystal armor 1,500 years ago. Your shields can protect you from stellar radiation. Useful. We learned to harness stellar radiation 800 years ago. More ships disappeared. The great Zephyrian fleet was melting away like ice in summer. Your sensors can detect objects across multiple dimensions, Dr. Morrison continued. Advanced work. We built sensors that can see across time and probability 600 years ago. Your computers can process information at near light speed. Remarkable achievement. Our computers have been thinking faster than light for 400 years. Zethkar realized with growing horror what the human was saying. Every advanced technology the Zephyrians had developed, humans had already surpassed. Every weapon they brought to this fight, humans had better versions of. Commander, Kate Sullivan said, you asked what we have been doing during the ceasefire. We have been learning from you, from every species in the galaxy. We took your best ideas and made them better. Then we took those better ideas and made them perfect. Only 1,000 Zephyrian ships remained out of the original 10,000. They clustered together trying to protect each other with their shields. But Commander, Dr. Morrison said, the most important thing we learned was patience. For 3,000 years we watched you and your allies become comfortable. You stopped growing. You stopped learning. You decided you were advanced enough. Kate Sullivan appeared on screen again. Behind her, the strange lights had formed into patterns that hurt to think about. We never stopped growing. We never stopped learning. And now the ceasefire is over. The remaining Zephyrian ships began to retreat. Their commanders sent desperate messages back to the fleet bases. They reported weapons that should not exist. They reported humans who could control stars and edit reality. Sir, Zethkar's sensor officer said, long-range communications are detecting similar attacks throughout the galaxy. Every alien fleet that approached a human system is reporting the same thing. Impossible weapons, impossible defenses, mass casualties. Zethkar looked at the screen where Kate Sullivan waited patiently. What do you want? He asked. We want what we have always wanted, she replied. Peace, cooperation, progress. But you decided those things were not possible. So now we will have war instead. Behind her, a new ship appeared. It was sleek and dark and covered in geometry that seemed to move when you were not looking directly at it. Commander, a new voice said. The speaker was a man who sounded like he was smiling. This is Captain Pete Johnson aboard the UNS Retribution. I have a message for the galaxy. The transmission switched to broadcast on all frequencies. Every alien ship in known space would receive it. To all alien civilizations, Pete Johnson said, the ceasefire is over. Humanity is coming. We tried to be your friends. We tried to be your students. We tried to be your peaceful neighbors. The ship behind him began to change shape. It grew larger and sprouted weapons that looked like they belonged in nightmares. You decided that was not enough. You decided we were too dangerous to live in peace. Very well. Now you will learn what we look like when we stop trying to be peaceful. The transmission ended. In the silence that followed, the few surviving Zephyrian ships fled toward home. They carried with them the news that would change everything. The humans had been pretending for 3,000 years. The galaxy was about to meet the real humanity for the first time, and the galaxy was not ready. The largest war fleet in galactic history gathered at Nexus Point. 1 million ships from 12 different species floated in perfect formation. The Hive Queen herself had come, bringing her personal vessel, the Eternal Swarm. It was as big as a moon and filled with billions of warrior insects. The Zephyrian survivors from Proxima Centauri had brought terrible news. Human weapons that could erase ships from existence, human defenses that could drain the power from stars. But the alien commanders did not believe the reports were completely true. Surely the humans had just used some clever tricks. 1 million ships, said Hive Commander Zakth, speaking for his queen. The humans cannot have tricks enough to stop 1 million ships. The other alien leaders agreed. The Nebulan collective minds whispered together in their gas tanks. The constructor generals ran calculations with their computer brains. The Zephyrian High Command studied battle plans on crystal displays. They all came to the same conclusion. Humans might have new weapons, but they could not have enough new weapons to fight the entire galaxy at once. Human forces detected approaching, announced a Zephyrian sensor operator. Single vessel. No escort ships. On the main screen, a human ship appeared. It looked ordinary, like the warships the aliens had seen during the ceasefire years. It was about the size of a city block with simple gray armor and basic weapon mounts. One ship? Hive Commander Zakth clicked his mandibles in amusement. They send one ship against 1 million? This will be the shortest battle in galactic history. The human ship stopped just outside weapons range. A communication signal came from it. This is Admiral Claire Thompson aboard the UNS Inevitable. I am authorized to accept your surrender. The alien commanders looked at each other in disbelief. Hive Commander Zakth activated his communication system. Human Admiral, you are facing the combined might of 12 species. 1 million warships, billions of warriors, weapons that can destroy solar systems. You have one ship. Are you insane? Claire Thompson's voice came back calm and steady. Commander, you are correct that we have one ship. But you are wrong about what that means. Suddenly, the human ship began to shimmer. The air around it seemed to bend and twist. Then, impossibly, there were two identical ships where there had been one before. "Sir," a Zephyrian sensor officer reported, "both ships are reading as completely real. Full power signatures, full weapon loads. This is not a hologram or illusion." The two ships shimmered again. Now there were 4. Then 8. Then 16. "What technology is this?" demanded the Nebulan collective consciousness. Claire Thompson's voice answered. "We call it quantum multiplication. Every ship we build exists in multiple realities at the same time. Usually we only manifest one reality. Today, we are manifesting all of them." The human ships continued multiplying. 32, 64, 128. The process was speeding up. "Sir," the constructor general calculated, "at this rate of multiplication, they will match our numbers in approximately 12 minutes. "Impossible," said Hive Commander Zakth. "Nothing can create matter and energy from nothing." "You are correct," Claire Thompson replied. "We are not creating anything from nothing. We are simply accessing all the ships we already built, across all possible realities. Every decision we could have made, we did make somewhere. Today, all those somewheres are here. In exactly 12 minutes, 1 million human ships faced 1 million alien ships. But that was not the end of the multiplication. The human fleet continued to grow. 2 million, 3 million, 5 million. "How is this possible?" whispered the Hive Queen through her commander. A new voice joined the communication channel. "This is Dr. Jerry Martinez, Director of Project Integration. Honored alien commanders, what you are seeing is just the beginning of today's demonstration." Something began to happen to the alien ships. Their own sensors started reporting things that could not be true. Zephyrian vessels showed human energy signatures mixed with their own. Hive ships detected human computer systems inside their own hulls. Constructor vessels found human manufacturing protocols in their production centers. "For 3,000 years, Dr. Martinez explained, every piece of alien technology you have shown us we have studied. Every innovation you have shared we have improved. Every system you have built we have learned to control." A Zephyrian cruiser suddenly turned its weapons on its sister ship. The captain screamed over the communication channel that his ship was attacking on its own. His hands were on the controls, but the ship would not obey. "Our integration protocol is now active," Dr. Martinez said. "Your ships are built with Zephyrian crystal technology. We perfected that centuries ago. Your weapons use Nebulan energy systems. We improved those long ago. Your defenses run on constructor manufacturing protocols. We enhanced those before your great-grandfathers were born." More alien ships began turning on each other, but their crews were not controlling them. Human technology hidden in every system the aliens had ever shared was now taking over. "Stop this," Hive Commander Zakth demanded. "This violates every law of war." General Nancy Foster's voice cut through the alien panic. "Commander, you ended those laws when you declared war on us. Now you fight by our rules." The human ships had stopped multiplying at 10 million vessels. They hung in space like a metal ocean, completely surrounding the alien fleet. "Beginning tactical demonstration," announced Captain Bill Anderson from his command ship. "All alien vessels, please observe." What followed was not a battle. It was a lesson. The human ships did not destroy the alien vessels. They captured them. Alien crews found themselves unable to move their own hands. Their ship computers showed them human faces speaking in perfect alien languages. "Your consciousness is now under human protection," the faces explained kindly. "You will not be harmed. You will not be killed. But you will watch as we demonstrate the futility of resistance." Zephyrian ships, now under human control, began firing on other Zephyrian ships, but they fired with perfect precision, targeting only weapon systems and engines. The crews inside were terrified but unharmed. Hive vessels used their swarm tactics against other Hive vessels, but they moved with impossible coordination, like they were all controlled by a single mind that was infinitely smarter than the Hive Queen herself. Nebulan energy beings found their thoughts slowed down to normal speed, while human computers thought millions of times faster. Constructor manufacturing systems began building human weapons inside constructor ships. "Casualty report," General Foster announced after 6 hours of demonstration. "Alien military capability reduced by 87%. Alien personnel casualties 0. We do not kill unnecessarily. The remaining alien ships that were still under their own control tried to retreat, but they found their navigation systems had been quietly changed. Every course they plotted led back to human space. The war you wanted to fight, Claire Thompson said, was always going to end the same way. You just chose to make it more painful for yourselves. Hive Commander Zakth, broadcasting from one of the few ships still under Hive control, made one last desperate plea. What do you want from us? Tribute? Territory? Slaves? Captain Anderson answered. We want what we have always wanted. For the galaxy to grow up. For all species to reach their potential. For war to become unnecessary. Then why are you destroying us? We are not destroying you, Dr. Martinez said. We are saving you from yourselves. Your species have spent too long fighting each other instead of learning from each other. That ends today. The human fleet began to move, but instead of advancing to attack, they spread out. Within hours, human ships appeared in orbit around every alien homeworld in the galaxy. The war is over, Admiral Thompson announced. The occupation begins now. Do not resist. We are here to help you become better than you are. The alien commanders realized with growing horror that they had not just lost a war, they had lost their independence. The humans had not come to conquer them. The humans had come to adopt them, and like all good parents, the humans would not take no for an answer. The galaxy was about to learn what it meant to live under human protection, whether it wanted to or not. The million-ship alliance had lasted 6 hours against humanity's true strength. The survivors would spend the rest of their lives trying to understand what had happened to them. But the lesson was simple. Humanity had been patient for 3,000 years. Their patience was now over. 6 months after the end of the war, Lisa Martinez walked into the meeting room at Harmony Point Station again. But everything was different now. The chairs where alien delegates had once sat with pride were now filled with beings who looked at her with a mixture of fear and wonder. High Command Zethkar was still there, but his crystal body was different. It sparkled with new colors that had never existed before. His thoughts moved faster, his memories were clearer, and he could see deeper into the nature of reality than any Zephyrian in history. But he had not asked for these improvements. Ambassador Martinez, he said, his voice like silver bells instead of breaking glass. We are ready to hear humanity's terms. Lisa sat down in the same chair she had used 6 months ago. But now she was not just an ambassador. She was the speaker for humanity, chosen to explain the new order to the galaxy. There will be no terms, she said simply. There will be no treaties or agreements or contracts. Instead, there will be partnership. Dr. Rebecca Lee stood up from her place beside Lisa. She had been quiet during the old meetings, but now she was Earth's Director of Galactic Development. Every species in this room has been selected for advancement, Rebecca said. Her voice was kind but firm, like a teacher speaking to children. Your natural abilities will be enhanced. Your lifespans will be extended. Your intelligence will be improved. Your cultures will be preserved but refined. The insect delegate who had once been Hive Commander Zakth clicked her mandibles nervously. Like Zethkar, she had been changed. Her compound eyes now saw across multiple spectrums of light. Her mind could process thousands of thoughts at once, but she was still afraid. What if we do not want to be enhanced? She asked. President Maria Santos, who had come to deliver humanity's final message to the galaxy, smiled her cold smile. Enhancement is not optional, she said. For 3,000 years, we watched your species make the same mistakes over and over. You fought wars over resources that were abundant. You limited your populations when the galaxy could hold trillions. You stopped learning when there was still infinite knowledge to discover. She stood up and walked to the big window that looked out at the stars. Humanity has decided that these inefficiencies will no longer be tolerated. Admiral Jake Parker activated a holographic display that showed the galaxy. Every star system was marked with colors. Blue for human space, which now included every inhabited world. Red for systems being prepared for colonization. Green for systems being converted into research stations or manufacturing centers. The process will take approximately 50 years, Jake explained. Every alien world will be integrated into the human network. Your people will learn to work together instead of against each other. Your technologies will be combined and improved. Your cultures will be studied and preserved in our libraries. General Rebecca Foster, who now commanded the Galactic Peacekeeping Force, provided more details. Resistance will only make the process more difficult for the resistors, she said. We have ships in orbit around every populated world. We have integration specialists on every planet. We have monitoring systems in every major city. Dr. Alex Chen, now the director of xenobiology, spoke to the specific concerns of each species. Zephyrians, your crystal biology will be enhanced to survive in any environment. Hive species, your collective consciousness will be expanded to include other forms of life. Nebulans, your energy bodies will be stabilized and given permanent form. Constructors, your manufacturing abilities will be increased 1,000-fold. The alien delegates listened in stunned silence. None of this sounded like conquest. It sounded like forced improvement. Commander Lisa Walsh, now head of Galactic Security, addressed their unspoken fears. You are wondering if this is slavery, she said. It is not. Slaves are kept ignorant and weak. You are being made smarter and stronger. You are wondering if this is genocide. It is not. Your species will continue to exist, but they will be better versions of themselves. The Nebulan representative, floating in its tank, whispered a question that all the aliens wanted to ask. Why are you doing this to us? Dr. Jerry Martinez, who had become humanity's chief philosopher, answered with surprising gentleness. Because we care about you. Because you have potential that you are not using. Because the galaxy is full of wonders that you have never seen because you were too busy fighting each other. He activated another display. This one showed images of alien worlds, but they looked different now. Cleaner. More beautiful. Cities that floated in the sky. Forests that grew in perfect spirals. Oceans that sparkled with new forms of life. This is what your worlds will look like when we are finished, Jerry said. This is what your people will accomplish when they stop wasting energy on conflict. President Santos returned to her seat. The most important gift we offer you is time. Unlimited time. The aliens looked confused. We have solved death, she explained. Not just for humans, but for all biological life. You will live as long as you choose to live. You will have centuries to learn, to grow, to explore, to create. Dr. Chen opened a medical scanner. The process has already begun. Every alien in this room has been exposed to human life extension technology. Your cellular decay has stopped. Your organs are regenerating. Your minds are becoming more flexible. Zethkar touched his crystal body with wonder. We feel it. We are becoming something new. Yes, Lisa Martinez said. You are becoming what you were meant to be all along. What you would have become eventually, if you had kept growing instead of stopping. Commander Walsh showed them pictures of human space. But it was not just humans anymore. Aliens and humans worked together on projects that spanned solar systems. Children that were part human and part alien played in schools that taught impossible subjects. Artists created beauty that no single species could have imagined alone. This is your future, she said, not as subjects or servants, but as family. General Foster stood at attention. The Zephyrian homeworld reports that integration is proceeding ahead of schedule. Crime has dropped to 0. Disease has been eliminated. Educational achievement has increased by 300%. Admiral Parker nodded. Similar reports from all integrated worlds. The hive planets are producing art and music for the first time in their history. The Nebulan energy beings are learning to create physical bodies. The constructor worlds are building wonders that their ancestors could not have dreamed. President Santos looked around the room at all the enhanced aliens. You asked for war. We gave you evolution instead. Lisa Martinez stood up for the final announcement. The Galactic Integration Project is now complete in its first phase. All military resistance has ended. All major population centers are under human protection. All species are beginning their journey toward their full potential. She walked to the door, then turned back to face the alien delegates one last time. In 50 years, when this process is complete, you will thank us. Your children will grow up in a galaxy without war, without poverty, without ignorance, without death. They will explore the universe with abilities you cannot imagine. They will create wonders that will outlast the stars themselves. Dr. Martinez had the final words. The 3,000-year ceasefire is over. The war lasted 6 months. Humanity's peace will last forever. The alien delegates sat in their chairs, no longer afraid. The enhancements to their minds were helping them understand. They could see the logic of what humanity was doing. They could feel the rightness of it in their improved brains. They had wanted to stop humanity from becoming too powerful. Instead, they had forced humanity to share that power with everyone. The galaxy would never be the same. And perhaps for the first time in its history, that was exactly what it needed. Outside the station, human ships moved between the stars like guardians, watching over worlds that were learning to be better than they had ever been before. The war was over. The real work was just beginning.